You let me know when we're on. Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody. Bring the mic up a little closer. Okay. We acknowledge the land upon which we work and live, the First Nations and their nations, and recognize their connection to the land, water, and community. We continue to learn, listen, and grow together. And call the meeting to order and approve of the agenda, please.
Be it hereby resolved that the agenda for the July 2nd, 2025 regular meeting of council be adopted as printed and circulated.
Okay, can I get a mover and a second, please? Moved by Councillor Detmer, second by Councillor Young. All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Oh, not seeing any. And minutes for June 18th?
Be it hereby resolved that the minutes of the June 18th, 2025 regular meeting of council be adopted as printed and circulated.
Okay, mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Banbury, second by Councillor Barnes. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. Any business arising for the minutes? Oh, do we have the thing? Oh, yes, sir. Okay, not seeing any. Okay. And public meeting.
Be it hereby resolved that council move into committee of adjustment at 4:01 p.m.
Okay, can I get a mover and a second? Moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Banbury. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. Okay, I'm officially opening this public meeting, which is being held under the Planning Act for the purpose of hearing minor variance applications and allowing any person in attendance the opportunity to make a presentation to council. I would like to ask those in attendance that if they wish to receive notification of the committee's decision, they should sign the sheet on the shelf by the door at the rear of the room. It's just beside you there. I would like to advise those in attendance that the Ontario Land Tribunal has the power to dismiss an appeal if an appellant has not provided the committee with oral submissions at a public meeting or a written submission before a decision has been rendered by the committee. I would now ask committee members to state any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. And I'm not seeing any. Next is a consideration of the minutes from the previous committee meeting. Does any members have any comments or revisions to the minutes presented? No? Can I get a verbal motion? Moved by Councillor Banbury, second by Councillor Demarest. All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried. There is one application to be heard today, MVA 03-25 for Wayne and Dorothy Meacham for a property located at 867148 Township Road 10. And Dustin, if you could present that report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good afternoon, members of council. The application before you concerns a property that is 129 acres in size and currently zoned A2. Currently, there's a 3,000 square foot single detached dwelling on the property in addition to a detached garage and agricultural outbuildings as well. The properties are regulated by the Grand River Conservation Authority given the presence of environmental features on the property. The proposal before you for a variance is to permit a detached additional residential unit that would be approximately 1,056 square feet in size. And a variance is being requested to increase the permitted maximum distance between a principal dwelling and an additional residential unit from 30 meters to 47.2 meters. As a result of the circulation to departments and agencies, no comments were received, nor were any comments received by members of the public. Staff have reviewed the request, and in our opinion, the request does meet the intent and purpose of the county's official plan in regards to additional residential units. We do note that the requested size meets size limitations, as it is less than 50% of the main dwelling size and does not exceed 1,500 square feet. And we do note that it is proposed to be located within the established building cluster on the farm. We do point out that there is an increase of 17.2 meters of permitted distance between the principal dwelling and the additional residential unit. And generally, we are supportive of keeping it within 30 meters or in cases limiting to how far away it is. In this case, we are supportive of the location of being 47.2 meters for a couple of reasons. One, it does avoid servicing that exists to the south of the property, so the septic bed. To the north of the single attached dwelling, there are some topography constraints in terms of the lay of the land. To the west, there is a propane tank and a hydro pole that exists. And if you go further west and southwest, there's actually provincially significant wetlands that exist over there as well. So the location that's being proposed here, as I mentioned, does still maintain a location within the cluster of buildings on site. It does allow for the existing driveway to be used for both the principal dwelling and the ARU, which is one of the criteria that we look for in the official plan. And we don't believe that it's actually going to create any issues with any neighboring agricultural properties. As this was circulated to the chief building official, no MDS concerns were raised. So for that reason, and in this circumstance, we are recommending approval for the proposed location.
Okay, thank you very much. Does the applicant have any comments or anything to say concerning the application? Nope. Okay, do any members of the committee have any questions or comments they wish to make? No, not seeing any. Is there any person in the audience that wishes to provide comments in support of opposition of this application? No? Okay. Hard time speaking today. Okay, is there a verbal motion from the committee to accept the application? Okay, moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Young. All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's unanimous. Okay.
Motion to move out.
Yep, the business for a committee has now been completed, and there's a written resolution to rise, please.
Be it hereby resolved that the committee rise at 4:06 p.m. and that the open meeting resumes.
Okay, can I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Banbury, second by Councillor Barnes. All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried. And then you'll have, oh no, that goes around. Yep. Okay. Okay, we have no delegations, no correspondence. General. Okay.
Questions or just read it?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions on anything in general correspondence? Nope, okay.
Be it hereby resolved that the general correspondence items be received as information.
Okay, can I move in a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Young. Any comments? All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried. Okay. And staff reports now. Director of Public Works, Jim Borton, please. Welcome, Jim.
Afternoon, Council. I just have my monthly report. So the Princeton ponds are basically complete. Ducks Unlimited has been in and done some plantings. If you remember, we're speaking with Ducks Unlimited about trees along the outline to define the pond. Although they said they were not interested in planting them, they said that they had no objections if trees were planted along there. They did also disclose that once their growth becomes mature and their plantings that they have done, there will be no doubt that there is a pond where it is as well. Phase 4 of construction along Main Street, the south end of Princeton, is moving along well. The main drain is completed on Main Street, and they're starting to do the main drain on Victoria Street as of today. Bridge 24, the archaeological dig has been completed. No unordinary artifacts, anything like that to cause any more delays. We're just waiting for the final report to be circulated and reviewed by all the partners, and then hopefully we can move forward with the tender with construction later on this fall. Bridge 38, this is the deck repair on Township Road 5. With all the rain and stuff, we have had some weather delays with that. The concrete deck has been repoured. They're just waiting for it to cure up a little bit more. Next week, they're hoping to get in, put the weatherproofing membrane on top with final asphalt, so that road will be open up hopefully within the next couple of weeks, weather permitting. Service sharing meeting in June was in Southwest Oxford, discussing joint tenders, services, and different work procedures that different municipalities are doing. As you are aware, we had our trade show in June. It was very successful. We set records not only for the number of booths, but also for attendance to the show for the 2 days. So we're very proud that Woodstock has now set the standard for all future shows. AORs, most of my executive meetings have been virtual. We did have our summer board meeting and workshop where we worked on our strategic plan. For drainage, repairs, most of the repairs have been made. Our drainage superintendent is going out, meeting with people if they do have questions. As well, he will be joining a joint Oxford stormwater management group. This will be the rural municipalities, just so that we're all on the same page with new legislation, and hopefully some of it is a large workload, so we can hopefully spread that out through the whole of the group, make it a little bit easier on all of them. Staff has been very busy in June. We finished our gravel, our calcium. We've been working on the roadside cutting as well. With some of these heavy rains, we've had to go out and do quite a bit of runoffs on some of our hills and stuff like that they've been busy working on. For the most part, things are going, everything's on schedule.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions from council? No, not seeing any. Councilor Banbury?
Not exactly a question, it's just some general information for council and for Jim. Jim maybe is already aware. After the GRCA meeting on Friday, I was cornered outside when we were waiting to have our group picture taken by two councillors from Brant County. And they asked me what I thought about putting a three-way stop at the end of Trussler and Keg Lane. It's a very busy intersection, and it's even busier now because of the big dig, they call it in Paris. Maybe you've heard it. I told them it's not really up to me or us, it's a county road, so they need to, and I think maybe they have been in touch, but I think they wanted to inform us that that's what they were up to, because it is right next to our township. So I said, you know, I'm in favor of it, just that nobody pays any attention to me, so they better talk to the county.
Perfect.
Have you heard anything about it?
I haven't heard anything, no.
Okay.
No, that could be something that's,
Out there now?
No, this is, you know, where Keg Lane is
Oh, Keg Lane, okay.
Keg Lane,
Yep.
where it comes up, it's a
Yep.
three-way stop, or a three-way corner.
yeah.
Gotcha, I know what you're talking about.
And Trussler Road is a tremendously busy road now.
Yes.
Yes.
It should have been taken over by the province and turned into a major highway, but that
Yeah.
never happened.
Yeah, it's unreal how much traffic's coming through there now.
So it would be a temporary thing, that they're not wanting it to be a permanent thing. It's just maybe for the next couple of years or however long it takes to get all this work done in Paris that they're doing. Because it is a major detour. It's the only way you can really get around Paris if you can't get over to the east, because you'd have to go to Glen Morris. So it's the only way to come up and get around Paris.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll be something that would come up at budget time, maybe.
Yeah, I believe Brant is responsible for that section of
Yeah,
road,
I
so
think
it would be
they're-
their initiation, and Oxford would have their approval for it.
Yeah.
But it would be something looked after by
Yeah.
Brant.
Yeah.
I just brought it forward for information.
Yep.
Anything else from council? I was gonna maybe, I'll make this kind of question comments, I guess. Just the mains, I've just had, again this afternoon, I had a couple more this morning, people calling about the main street, that they're saying that, I know, they all know that it's closed down, but they still have to be able to travel it to get into their houses, the ones that live right along there. And they're just saying that the street isn't being, and I know some of it's to do with the weather, but they said the street is, if you have a car, you literally can't get down there at all. So they're just wondering if somehow it can be maybe leveled just a little bit more. That was,
Yep, and that was brought up. We did have, we have regular meetings,
Yeah.
bi-weekly meetings with the contractor, and that was brought up this morning to
Okay.
improve it, especially with these rains. There were some
Yeah.
very large water holes there from
Yeah.
last week.
and then I had a fellow call that lives on Railway Street, and concerned about all the mud and the dirt, because I guess they're hauling down there again because the fire, it's too mud, they're getting stuck in there, so they're hauling down there again. They said they just wondered if we could maybe keep that a little cleaner than what it is right now.
It has been scraped, and we have arranged for a sweeper to go through there,
Yeah.
as well as McQueen Street and Victoria, because that's they're using that to get
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, I said I would pass it on.
Yep.
so. Okay. Go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that report PW 2511 be received as information.
Okay, mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councilor Barnes, second by Councilor Young. Any comments on that? All in favor? Opposed, if any? And that's carried. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay, and our next one is Trevor Bear. Welcome, Trevor.
Afternoon, Council. Just here to the Community Services Report, monthly report. From the administration side, staff have been dealing with learners to review the EV charging stations. Once that is all complete, we'll do a report back to Council, just to keep you updated. Met with the Drumbo Agriculture Society regarding the Early On Year Partnership Program. They're having their meeting tonight to discuss it with the board. I met with the subcommittee, and they were just with the feedback from council from last time, so they're going to give their update to the board tonight, and then we'll go see where we go from there. We're reviewing the fence request for the Princeton Park, and we'll bring a report back to council in the future. The parks hosted the co-ed slow pitch tournament the Drumbo Fire Department has. We had 5 other youth minor baseball tournaments in the month of June. The Princeton Playground open to the public. A few more things that need to be completed there are benches, the saucer swing, and picnic table and some landscaping need to be completed in there, and then we'll do a grand opening once that's all completed. Hopefully that's completed this month of July. Lots of other celebration, community celebration day, community day, and the ribbon cutting for the new accessible playground area. Splash pads were busy throughout the month of June. Cemeteries, we met with some staff met with contractors for the foundation repairs work, trying to schedule that with other concrete work they're doing there as well. So, there was 8 flags put up in each community. Drumbo, Bright, and Plattsville. This year we didn't do Princeton because of where the flags go. The roads are all ripped up and we can't get to the posts. So.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, any questions on a report? No? Not seeing any. Okay, go ahead.
Be it hereby resolved that report CS 2509 be received as information.
Okay, could I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Councilor Demers, second by Councilor Banbury. Any comments? All in favor? And opposed, if any? And that's carried. Thank you, Trevor. Okay, any reports from council members? I guess just the one, the Canada Day thing yesterday in Drumbo here was really good, very well attended. The biggest thing I got out of the whole thing, and I kind of said that when I did my little speech thing there, was the whole thing was about volunteer. And that's what makes our township thrive, is all the volunteer clubs, groups, whatever we have. And was once again yesterday, it was several of the groups were there volunteering, and it was very well attended, and they said to thank the township for the support for our anniversary, that they had a lot of good displays there too, and there was lots. I think the Lions were there, their 70th, 50th for ours, Oxford County 175, and then there was Heritage Society 30th.
United Church,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was so there was a whole pile of big anniversaries this year that were all celebrated there. So it was really good. I think that's all I have, top of my head. Okay. No unfinished business, motions, and notice of motions. Now, is Daryl reading this? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and read it?
Okay. Whereas the township's current flag protocol policy provides guidelines for flying flags on municipal property, and whereas the existing layout accommodates only 2 flag poles, which displays the Canadian flag and either the Ontario flag or a flag recognizing a community event or organization. and whereas the lack of a third pole limits the township's ability to constantly fly both Canadian and Ontario flags, while also celebrating local achievements or recognizing organizations of significance in accordance with the policy. Now therefore be resolved that council directs staff to prepare a report and draft amended to the flagpole protocol policy that includes an assessment of the estimate cost of installing a third flagpole at the township office location, and a draft policy be amended to enable permanent flying of both Canadian and Ontario flags, with the third flagpole being reserved for celebrating community achievement, increasing public awareness of township programs and initiatives, also acknowledging organizations and having achieved national or international distinction or made significant contributions to the community, or recognizing organizations that have enhanced the township in a positive manner, and that staff be directed to prepare a report for council considering at a future meeting.
Okay, and we won't discuss that today. We'll do that at our next meeting. Okay, any new business? No, not seeing any. Okay, we're going to go into closed session.
Be it hereby resolved that council move into closed session under the authority of Section 239 of the Municipal Act at 4:21 PM to discuss A, CAO 2517, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality, Section 239-2C, regarding pending acquisition, disposition of lands.
Okay, can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Demers, second by Councillor Young. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried, and we'll just wait till we're off. Okay,
Be it hereby resolved that council does now adjourn from closed session and resume into open session at 4:36 PM and reports the following: that council provided direction to staff regarding report CAO 2517.
okay, can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Counselor Banbury, second by Counselor Demers. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. You guys are afraid today. All right, and we're into bylaws.
Be it hereby resolved that the following bylaws be now read a first and second time: 2503-2025, 2504-2025, 2505-2025, 2506-2025, and 2507-2025.
Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Counselor Demers, second by Counselor Young. Any comments? All in favor? And opposed, if any, and that's carried.
Be it hereby resolved that the following bylaws be now given a third and final reading: 2503-2025, 2504-2025, 2505-2025, 2506-2025, and 2507-2025.
Okay, mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Counselor Barnes, second by Counselor Banbury. Any comments? All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. Anything under other? Just let council know, I'll be away from Friday till probably a week the following Monday on holidays. So I believe, is it Counselor
me?
Demarest, I think, right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are
So,
you going to forward your phone to me then?
yeah, here, you can have all of it, personal and all. So just, I'll be away. I can still get up, knowing me, I'll still have my phone and email handy if you do, anybody needs anything, so. All right, adjournment to our next meeting.
Whereas business before council has been completed at 4:38 PM, be it hereby resolved that council adjourn to meet again on August 6th, 2025 at 4 PM.
Okay, mover to seconder, please. Moved by Counselor Young, second by Counselor Demarest. All in favor? Opposed, if any, and that's carried. Thank you.